100.7, the Viper right there, rocking and rolling with Kiss. And I thought that was the Unplugged cut off the MTV special, but it wasn't. But still, nonetheless, a great cut from the guys. And speaking of Kiss, in studio with me right now, David from Rocket Ride, the Kiss tribute. And good morning, sir.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful.
Now, would I be incorrect if I guessed by your size that you're probably Gene?
That's correct.
Ah, the demon. Our boy Joe in the morning. Joe does a perfect dead-on Gene.
It's funny because a lot of people think that they know Gene's mannerisms and can do the voice, and it's very difficult. It took me a long time to actually get the voice really close.
It's funny when you watch Joe, no matter what Joe does, he just kind of, it comes on and he even does this, like Gene does when he's out of makeup, and everything. So, and then he does Paul, and he'll have a conversation with Paul and Gene together.
Sure.
And Katie and I are just dying, laughing, listening.
We do that all the time at rehearsals. We all make fun of each other, do the voices, and make cracks and all kinds of crazy comments and try and throw each other off.
So it's not like it's difficult enough in the music scene to do the tribute band thing, because when you do the tribute band or you do the cover band thing, you got these other guys that do original music and they go, you're a sellout. Well, the difference is in St. Louis, you're making money when you do that. And they're like, oh, well, you're sacrificing, your integrity. But it's like, what integrity do you have if nobody sees or hears you play?
There's a double-edged sword to that, because a lot of us actually have side projects.
Right.
So we kind of see it. We get the best of both.
Right.
I mean, we go out and we do the Kiss thing, and we're seeing it when we're seen in makeup and costume and doing the show. We're pushing Kiss, and it's because we all do it because we've been fans for 40 some odd years now, and we do the original stuff because that's a hobby. No original band makes money anymore, especially around here. So we love the band, and we'll keep doing it as long as we can do it.
So tell me a little bit about the set list. I've also been a Kiss fan, and a lot of kids growing up, they took on the Kiss, and I don't know if you saw the recent Garth Brooks special, Live from the Wind, and he talked about all his musical influences.
Sure.
And when his brother brought the Kiss album home, and when he starts the whole show, his dad goes, in my house, the biggest things in my home were Haggard and Jones. And then he goes from there and he's like, and to bring in these fire-breathing, blood-spitting guys, when you've got Garth Brooks saying, Kiss was an influence, what influenced you guys originally, if it was anything beyond Kiss? And then tell me a little bit about the set and how the show works and the theatrics you guys bring to it, being that it is a tribute cover band.
Well, as far as influence, I can tell you for myself that the first time I saw Kiss didn't even hear them. I saw the album cover to Alive, which is just a stage shot, and to me they looked like comic book superheroes. And at the time, still am, huge superhero fanatic. So to see these guys playing rock and roll in face paint and costumes, and they were like superheroes. And for me, that was the end. I didn't even care what they sounded like. When I put the record on, that just sealed the deal.
And which is strange, because they actually got the opportunity to work with Stan Lee.
Sure. And
actually, if you buy a Kiss comic today, it actually has a genetic code of the 4 original members of Kiss in it.
The first comic book, was printed in Borden, New York at Marvel's printing plant, and actually had the red ink had one vial of each original member of their blood. And they've had comic book series through just about every major comic book publisher since then, with the exception of DC. But each series has every 10 years or so, some new artist says, I can do this, and they throw it out, and it's like a whole new generation.
Well, if you're DC, how do you give time on paper to Kiss when you've got Josie and the Pussycats? Really, come on.
That's true. Yeah. Although they did just complete a series with the Archies and Kiss.
I can only imagine how interesting they got with Jughead.
Now, Gene had FaceTime with Benny and Veronica at the same time.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. Is that on the coffee table book?
Oh, the $5,000 coffee table book that weighs more than most coffee tables?
Yes, exactly. You have to have a reinforced coffee table for that one.
I heard they ship it by forklift.
Well, that or Gene's hair could probably hold it up. So you guys, when you do the show, I'm assuming you guys play it off as the 4 original members, not any of the offshoots or anything, or do you?
Well, we stick to a lot of, the main lineup. But the thing that really sets us apart from most Kiss tributes is that we also incorporate Ace Frehley solo material. Ironically, when Rocket Ride started off, we started off as an Ace Frehley tribute. No makeup, no costumes. Just went out and did all of Ace's solo material and threw in the bigger Kiss songs. We ran into a bit of a snafu because we would go to venues and try and get bookings, and they would say, "Great, want to have you. You have the makeup and the costumes?" No, we don't do that. Sorry, not interested. So we decided to refocus. We took a year off. We constructed the costumes. Some of us actually even switched positions within the band. Learned how to apply the makeup, made our own costumes, put the stage show together, got the signature instruments. Now we come back a year later, and this is where we're at.
Now, here's my question. There's a big brouhaha going on right now. You know, they just announced the other day Kiss's induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And there's a little bit of animosity because Gene and Paul are saying that Paul and Ace are not going to be invited back to be a part of it.
Well, Ace has already made a comment that
he's going to crash the party.
He's going to be there. They keep saying, I know for a fact that their manager Doc has already been in contact with Ace and Peter. They will be there. Whether they all play together, that still remains.
Yeah, I mean, I think they need to suck it up. That's the original lineup, and they need to, for the posterity's sake.
I agree.
It needs to be there.
I agree.
It needs
and
to
even
be
if even if it's the last time the 4 of them all step on stage together, whether they're in makeup and costume or not, doesn't matter. They could play 5 notes of rock and roll all night. Makes everybody happy.
Right, exactly. Well, let's do this, David. Let's take a break, and we'll come back, and we will talk a little bit about you guys' next appearance.
Sure.
And your next performance, which is they're both only about 20 days away. And you got a show coming up at Pops, and you're going to be out with us on New Year's Eve at St. Charles Family Arena for a Rocket Ride Kiss tribute appearance, and we'll talk about that. And we'll also talk about a motion picture project you guys have got going on and some original music we're going to play for you and debut right here coming up in just a few minutes on 100.7 The Viper. All right, 100.7 The Viper. Chuck Ryan back with David of Rocket Ride, the Kiss tribute. And next personal appearance for you guys.
New Year's Eve, St. Charles Family Arena. We're going to be appearing with some of the on-air staff from the Viper at the St. Charles Chill hockey game versus the Rapid City Rush.
How about that? Game time 6:05, and then that's a personal appearance. How about the next time we can see you guys on stage?
The next performance, the next widely publicized performance is going to be Saturday, February 22nd at Pops in Sauget, Illinois, just over the bridge.
The Sauget Ballet, and you're going to be getting a little help from Judas Beast and an all-girl band, Candy Coated Evil.
That's right. Judas Beast is a split tribute between Iron Maiden and Judas Priest. This will be their first time performing in St. Louis. We got word from them that they were tearing it up in Chicago, and we decided to bring them down from the Windy City.
So tickets are going to be 10 advance, 12 day of the show with the $2 surcharge?
That's right. And tickets are available at Pop's website, or you can get them directly through ticketweb.com. We also have a number of locations around town where you can find complimentary tickets. Slackers, Hot Topic, Guitar Center in Bridgeton and in Crestwood. And also at certain V-Stock locations around town.
You haven't talked to Walter Ray at CD Warehouse?
We've done some business with Walter previously, and he's been really good to us.
Walter's a good man. He's a good friend of mine. So let's talk about this. We've got a kind of a sequel thing, a passion project you guys have been working on. I remember growing up, and that was, other than Beth, probably Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park was one of my first entrances into the Kiss Army. And what was funny is my mom and dad had left me with my grandparents for the weekend, and we got done watching Chips at 7:00. I think it was on NBC, and then this came on. I'm like, we got to watch this. And my grandma and grandpa are like, what in the hell are we watching?
Yep.
And you guys are you've kind of written yourself. You have, David, written a semi-sequel.
It's a very loose sequel. I mean, Kiss Meets the Phantom was great in a Scooby-Doo kind of way.
Yeah, very much so.
And,
even the theme park involved.
Yeah, and even the unmasking of the mad scientist at
Right.
the ending. And we wanted to do our own kind of homage to that. We're all fans of the film. We crack jokes about it all the time, but deep down there's a lot of love for it. We each have our own copy and cradle it lovingly when we watch it.
At any point, will you be having an African American gentleman step in to play the part of Ace for a fight scene?
No, but our Ace will definitely be hitting the tanning booth. So that may come about in its own special way.
I think if you didn't know that, that's one of the funniest stories of that whole movie is that there's a fight scene and it's actually an African American gentleman playing Ace Frehley rather than Ace Frehley playing Ace Frehley.
Yes.
My favorite scene in that movie is when they're sitting around the fountain and they actually do the acoustic 12-string version of Beth.
And the ironic thing is that none of them actually played any of the music for that version.
No.
I mean, it's Peter's vocal, but it's a studio guitarist playing the music.
And that's the other thing, too. And I mean, not to pick them apart because Kiss is Kiss. And, they, really the two pioneering makeup bands of that era were the New York Dolls
right,
and Kiss. And if you don't know who the New York Dolls are, think David Johansen, Hot, 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 in much cooler punk rock days.
Or for your movie fanatics, he was the cab driver in Scrooged.
Scrooged as well, yes, absolutely. So tell me where Smoke fits into the song Smoke that we're going to hear fits into the whole part of it.
It's going to be one of the backing tracks to a short film that we're currently working on. Smoke is actually a demo that Kiss recorded that was supposed to be on, I believe, Rock and Roll Over. For whatever reason, the song was never finished, and it kind of sat in the vaults for a long time, and somehow it popped up on YouTube. And as one of the great unfinished Kiss songs of all time, I kind of said, we could do that. We could finish it, and we did. So here's the result.
All right, check it out. You're hearing it here first on 100.7 The Viper. This is David and the guys from Rocket Ride, the Kiss tribute, and this is Smoke on The Viper. say that I'm a Kiss fan on the same level that I am a Journey, Hagar, or Van Halen fan, but I'm definitely a Kiss fan, and I got to tell you, I have a real picky ear, and that definitely sounds like some solid 70s era Kiss to me. So kudos to you, David, for actually capturing the feel. I mean, you take something that wasn't put out there, and to be able to actually hear the likeness and to hear how close it is to the stuff they actually did on some of the early 70s albums.
It was a lot of work. I mean, the song, the demo version of that they did was very bare bones, and all we did was use the same instruments they used and same sound and tried to capture it.
So, that being said, like we talked about, that's going to be, excuse me, that's going to be released when we get the footage out, and they don't know exactly when that's going to be, but keep it here. I'm sure David will let me know. We'll make sure that you have an opportunity to check that out. Now, you've got an appearance coming up with some Viper staff and with our friend Kristen Schindler, who's going to be doing the national anthem New Year's Eve, correct?
That's correct. It's going to be at the St. Charles Family Arena on New Year's Eve.
And then your next actual performance...
The next performance will be Saturday, February 22nd at Pops in Sauget, Illinois.
And you are going to be with?
Judas Beast, an Iron Maiden Judas Priest tribute from Chicago, and Candy Coated Evil.
Now, tell me real quick about Candy Coated Evil. Is that all originals, or what are they?
They are the two front persons are two sisters, Sid and Lexi Schlemmer. They do a lot of power punk, post-punk, whatever the term is nowadays, but they're very eclectic and they're very fun to watch.
Now, if you're a fan of Kiss and Ace Frehley and you'd like to go to the Pop Show, the guys have been kind enough to give us a pair of tickets to the show, and you can see the guys at 6:30 Saturday, February 22nd of next year. And if you want them, hit me up on the studio line, 636-695-2915. That's 636-695-2915. David, thanks for taking time to come out and tell us about it today.
Always happy.
All right,
happy
brother.
to come out.
And I think I'm going to keep smoking there, and I may actually roll it when I roll some Kiss stuff, man, because I like it that much.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. Let's get back into the rock right here. Lou Graham, Mick Jones, Foreigner. It's cold as ice. We're back to the rock on 100.7 The Viper.